The first round of high school football playoffs have begun with some surprising upsets. The Spartans join us for a fall sports recap, and the Verona Wildcats girls volleyball players bring us the details on their journey to Big 8 champions. All that and much more. Keep watching. Your local sports news starts now. Thanks for joining us for the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and here are your local headlines. A fitness run benefiting a local charity is making national headlines after raising $52 million in 2015. The Wisconsin Law Enforcement Torch Run received the Diamond Level of Excellence Award and was named the 7th largest run in the world. The Torch Run, which benefits the Special Olympics of Wisconsin, will celebrate its 30th anniversary in 2016. To date, the event has raised more than $563 million for Special Olympics athletes. A study aimed at keeping high school athletes safe has recently made news. The University of Wisconsin-Madison is providing new research results in reducing concussions among local high school football players. Findings are showing that the WIAA rule, which began in 2014, considerably limiting the amount of full contact allowed during drills or games, has effectively reduced concussions by more than 50%. Some surprises emerged over the weekend as Level 1 of the high school football playoffs began. In fact, it was the most successful performance by road teams in 3 years, as several of the lower-seeded teams won in the first round. Local upsets included number 6 Oregon over number 3 Milton with a score of 14-7, and number 7 Sun Prairie over Middleton with a final score of 30-23. The 2015 boys volleyball playoffs are set to begin soon, with regional matchups beginning October 30th and sectional semifinals on November 3rd. Sectional finals will be 2 days later on November 5th, with the state tournament being held on Friday and Saturday, November 13th and 14th in Milwaukee. To find the official playoff bracket, visit WIAAWI.org. The state girls team tennis championships took place over the weekend at the Nielsen Tennis Stadium in Madison. The Neenah Rockets and the Edgewood Crusaders came out on top, winning the Division I title and the Division II team championship respectively. The Rockets beat Brookfield East 4-3 to win, with the doubles playing very strong. This was their first team championship after last year's second-place performance. The Crusaders, whose last title was won in 2013, came on top over Altoona with a 7-0 win. Badger football pulled out a victory at Illinois over the weekend despite having many players fall to injury. UW lost quarterback Joel Stave and 2 other offensive starters, but pulled out a 24-13 victory after Bart Houston came off the bench. Dave Aranda's defense proved very impressive yet again as the Badgers played at Memorial Stadium with a crowd boasting over 45,000 sports fans. Next game for the Badgers will be home against Rutgers on Saturday at 11 a.m. Thanks so much for watching the sports news, brought to you in part by the Red Zone Sports Bar in downtown Madison. For sports, music, and the best pub grub in town, visit the Red Zone. When we return, we're checking in with Evansville High School. Your Blue Devils report is next on the sports news, so stick around. Hey folks, welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, joined now by Sam Topol and Jordan Everson from Evansville High School for your Blue Devils report. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so I'm so glad to have you today. Now, Jordan, you're the assistant coach, and Sam, team captain, is joining us. We are talking playoff football for the Blue Devils. Perfect timing. Let's talk about your recent victory and give us some tips, some pointers. What were some of the keys to victory in round 1 of the playoffs so far?
Well, you know, it was a muddy game, as it was everywhere in southern Wisconsin. A lot of rain. You know, our offensive line played great in the rain, and our defense played fantastic. You know, they held them to 130 yards. with a pretty fast offense that Pewaukee had, and our linemen dug down and got the job done.
Excellent, and I want to just first give you congratulations on your success so far. I know the weather was a little bit tough. Let's talk a little bit about how the weather affected the game on Friday night.
You know, that it's kind of our style. We like to pound the ball. We're the same way on defense. You know, we got some good linebackers, good D-line, and we like those physical games. So when we can, you know, slow the playing down a little bit, that kind of fits to what we like to do.
Absolutely. And Sam, let's get to you a little bit for a moment here as a player and a center. What kinds of challenges does this bring for you? And I'm sure you enjoy this kind of thing. Talk a little bit about that too.
Being an offensive lineman, it's always difficult playing in muddy weather because you always compromise your footing. You always gotta talk louder because the wind's coming in strong. And I feel like we just worked really well together in the game. Got some key blocks, shut down some of their key defensive linemen, and I feel like we just came together and pulled it out.
A team effort for sure, and great for you to say that. Let's talk a little bit about some of the notable performances in the first round game versus Pewaukee. Who do you think stood out?
You know, like I said, our offensive line did great. We have a three-headed monster at running back, and we were able to utilize all of them. You know, defensively, our defensive line played fantastic. We have a middle linebacker by the name of Jordan Meyer, and he was all over the field, and it makes things tough when we got a linebacker who can play like Jordan.
Absolutely. Well, again, great team performance there. And Sam, from a player's perspective, let's talk a little bit about the team's confidence going into the next game against a large private school like Catholic Memorial.
I feel like our confidence is pretty high. We're coming off a big win, off of a big name school such as Pewaukee, and I feel like we're just going to take it one step at a time like we do with every team and just prepare and look at what they do and then just adjust our play style to what they have to do, and then we're just going to run the ball, and we're just going to do our best to go out there and show them how to run the ball.
Do what you do best, and hopefully you'll come out on top again. Well, Sam Topol and Jordan Everson from Evansville High School for your Blue Devils Report. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for the support, guys. Go Big Blue.
Thank you.
Earlier this week, Ryan Ashaker caught up with the Waunakee High School for your Warriors Report, and here's that report.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. Right now we're joined by our friends from Waunakee Volleyball. We have Ann, Emily, and Allie. Ladies, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
So talk to us a little bit about the season. I understand you guys are gearing up for playoffs. How did the regular season finish up?
Well, we started off with our first tournament win in Wisconsin Dells, so that was a great starting point for us. And then preparing for the conference season, and then again peppering in some tournaments that we had a second place finish at the Cardinal Invite in Middleton. So you know what, we're in the right place, we're doing the right things and progressing. I mean, there's always things to work on, but we are definitely headed in the right direction. We have a great week coming ahead for 3 practices before our first playoff game that we'll be hosting at Waunakee on Thursday. And then if we win that one, we'll host on Saturday night for the regional championships.
Well, there you go. As you're getting ready for the playoffs and hopefully progressing and making your way through it, what are some of the team's strengths? What are some things you guys can rely on as a team going forward?
Our serve receive has definitely been one of our greatest assets this year. We've really worked hard to get that, keep the numbers above too, you know, just working really hard at that. And also on our setting and our hitting, finding places on the floor that are open, just really trying to earn points as quickly as possible.
Now, dealing with those strengths and knowing what you were coming into, what were the goals in the preseason? What are some things you guys wanted to accomplish? And have those goals changed now that we're in the playoffs?
So one of our goals this season was to win conference, and we accomplished that, which was a huge victory for us. And then we really just wanted to progress as a team, and I think we've done a great job of that. And obviously, we want to make it to sectional finals this year because it's at Waunakee, so that'd be a really cool opportunity for us. So.
What are some things you guys are going to have to do or capitalize on to make sure you are able to participate in those sectionals that are held at Waunakee?
I think what we need to do is just stay to the course of our strengths. We're working on some of the things that, you know, most teams are going to have weaknesses within their team, but we're trying to get those to be more strengths than weaknesses, obviously, as that's your kind of goal as you work through the season. But I think in order for us to be in it, we need to serve tough, we need to pass balls, we need to stay communicating with our team, and we got to work hard. These girls, day in and day out, work hard. They come to practice with a purpose. So I think we're doing everything we can in the gym, and then when it's time, it's time. So they got to produce.
And that's the important part. Now, I'm guessing you guys have played together for a while. What is the team chemistry like? Is it pretty tight-knit group? You guys stick together on and off the court?
Yeah, we have about 12 people this year, so we've gotten to know each other pretty well. Like, you definitely get lots of one-on-one time with each other, and we're always trying to do things like going to dinner, having team sleepovers, stuff like that, just so we can get to know each other a bit more. But team chemistry has been great this year. All the girls are awesome.
Very nice. Well, ladies, we want to thank you for coming on to the Sports News, and we definitely want to wish you the best of luck going into playoffs.
Thank you so much.
8 conference champs, your Verona Wildcats report is next. The Sports News will be right back. Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah reporting on volleyball now. Your Verona Area High School Wildcat Report starts now, and with me I have Heather Rudnicki and Grace Mueller, who are seniors at Verona Area High School. How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Some familiar faces with me. I've actually met you out at Friday Night Football and got to talk a little bit about your successes, but we have a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. You guys are Big 8 conference champs, and you must be so proud, worked really, really hard. Let's describe your journey to claiming the title.
Well, our journey definitely started out a little bit rough with we lost our first set to West, but was able to come back and win the game. But our biggest thing that we've been focusing on is not to have a roller coaster, but playing with more consistency, which is what we implemented throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a tough thing to do, is to keep that consistency and that energy level high. Let's talk a little bit about some of the obstacles that you had to overcome along the way, and what do you think as far as how that's going to impact you in the postseason?
So our two of our biggest competitors this year were Janesville Craig and Sun Prairie, and both of those matches we actually went to 5 sets. We were down in both. One of them I think was 14-11, and we ended up coming back and winning those 5th sets. So those were huge in becoming conference champions.
Oh, absolutely. Coming up from behind is definitely a testament to the team mentality. And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of mental preparation before you get into these. Let's talk a little bit about what you do to prepare prior to these.
Well, to start off during the week, we look at who we're going to be playing, and we practice like we were playing against them. We focus on their tendencies and then what we need to do to overcome that. And then before the game, we huddle and cheer really, really loud to get ourselves pumped and ready to go.
That's great. Get that energy level high, get everybody's motivation up. And you actually have 9 seniors. I remember talking to you a little bit about that a couple weekends back. How has that impacted the team this year?
Yeah, so at Verona Volleyball, we like to focus on our brand, which is like defense, communication, and all that. And having 9 people returning and knowing that philosophy already really helped us this year. We were a step ahead already of everyone else, all the other teams in the conference. Like, we were just more mature, and we're able to lead the rest of our teammates to success.
Absolutely. Well, great job. And before we go, let's talk a little bit about what you've learned overall. Your volleyball career is winding to a close here at Verona. What do you think some of the most important things that you have as takeaways are?
Well, one of the biggest things is like winning is fun, but the thing that I'll always remember from Verona is the family that we created. Through our communication, which led to our consistency and our authenticity, we were able to grow so close and become like sisters, and team bonding outside, often on the court, we were communicating, which then translated to how we played.
Well, congrats again to both of you. Successful seniors and a successful volleyball season. Great job. This is Heather Rudnicki and Grace Mueller, who are seniors at Verona Area High School. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
When we return, we're going to hear from Jeremy Schlitz, the athletic director for Madison Memorial. He'll be giving us a fall sports wrap-up. Your Spartan Report is after the break, so stick around. Hey folks, welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and this is your Spartans Report. I'm joined by Jeremy Schlitz, Athletic Director for Madison Memorial, and a familiar face here on the Sports News. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me back.
So let's talk about fall sports as they're kind of coming to a close. If you would give us a proper wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's not wrapped up real soon. I'm hopefully just in the middle of my playoff beard here. We finished up some tournaments already, qualifying a couple girls to golf sectionals, getting an individual qualifier to the state tennis tournament. Right now we're in the midst of things, just had both of our cross-country teams qualify for the state tournament. Football's moved on to level 2. We still have our girls swimming playoff season and boys volleyball playoff season upcoming. So really excited about what the next few weeks have to hold.
Absolutely. Lots of great wins for you guys, including the recent football win. Congrats on all the success there. Let's talk a little bit about prioritizing coverage. So how do you prioritize events for coverage versus fan support? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's good to be busy when you get into that playoff season. And I think the way I prioritize myself is just to kind of get to the highest level. So I would choose a state tournament over a sectional or a sectional over a regional, that type of thing, and try to make those same opportunities available to our students, maybe through fan buses, especially as we start to spread the area that we'd be at. You know, football going to a Conwalk and the state cross country up in Wisconsin Rapids. I want to provide opportunities for all our kids to get a chance to be part of that experience for them. Absolutely, and what a great experience for those folks to get to be a part of. And let's talk a little bit about moving forward in high school athletics. What do you see as trends? What are you seeing as a pattern repeating here? Well, I think we're lucky at Memorial. Our trends for participation are going up. You know, we had over 700 fall sport athletes, which is great to get those kids connected to the school. You know, the unfortunate trends I somewhat see are sometimes the privatization or specialization of our athletes, or the feeling that they need to participate in for-profit opportunities as opposed to being multi-sport student athletes at the high school, which I think can be very beneficial for them. Yeah, absolutely. Getting a well-rounded approach I think would be nice. And as you said, there's lots of fall sports still happening and hopefully lots more to come. But let's look ahead to winter sports and talk a little bit about what we can expect to see from the Spartans this winter. Yeah, I'm excited for winter. You know, obviously the fall is the focus now, but you know, looking forward, we've got a hockey team that played in the state semifinals last year, gymnastics team that's been to state the last couple of years. You know, girls basketball program that I feel is on the rise, and a boys basketball program looking for their 13th straight conference title. Our boys swim team, you know, I anticipate to be the favorites to win another state title as they did last year. So really looking forward to those sorts of things, and hopefully it looks like our participation numbers are going to be up in the winter as well, and doing some sort of things like that to keep connecting our kids back. Yeah, really good stuff, and obviously a lot of success from last year to build off of going into this season, so congrats on that. And let's talk a little bit for viewers and folks at home. If they're looking to get involved with high school athletics, they're not currently students and they're not maybe currently families of students, talk to us about how they can get involved. Yeah, I think, you know, high school athletics is a way that the community can kind of rally around a cause, which is great. So being a fan and being a member of part of the crowd is a great thing, but also, you know, there's other opportunities, whether it be, you know, becoming an official. You're always looking for officials, or getting a chance to maybe volunteer or help out, whether it's in event management or coaching. We'd love to get everybody we can involved and really make it truly a community feel over at Memorial. Good stuff. Well, Jeremy Schlitz, thanks so much for joining us once again, Athletic Director for Madison Memorial Athletics. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Go Spartans.
Joining us now are a group of outstanding young women for your Madison East Purgolders Report. Welcome to Quasia, Lexi, and Lizzie, captains for the Madison East dance team, and we're discussing your upcoming competition season. How are you guys doing?
Great, thank you.
Good. Well, I'm so glad to have you, and I want to talk about your competition season that is approaching very quickly, isn't it? Now, let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing to prepare.
Yep, we've been performing at all the half times at the home games, and we practice 8 hours a week, and we've also been setting team goals for competition season that we want to accomplish throughout our competition season.
Wow, okay, so you've actually done quite a bit in preparation, including doing some performances, but 8 hours a week, and let's talk a little bit about the types of routines that you're going to be doing when you do come into competition season.
Yep, we'll be taking 2 difficult routines, one pom and one hip hop, and we're really excited this year because we've never taken a hip hop routine to competition yet, so we're really excited.
That is exciting. So you're going to have a little twist on some of your more typical routines this year. And I think that'll be a lot of fun for viewers to watch as well. So let's talk a little bit as competition captains. You know, what are you doing to keep your team motivated, and how are you getting those folks to really prepare to compete the rest of the team? It's a big group.
So for competition, we like to set team goals at practice, and we like to motivate each other during practice as well. Also, it really helps for competition to spend time with each other outside of practice, like as team bonding, so that we all feel like closer as a family.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really smart to get a little bit of experience with each other outside of the setting of competition. And I want to talk a little bit, because I've been informed that you've been successfully fundraising a lot so far this season. So another way for you girls to really spend some time together. Tell us what you plan to do with the funds that you've raised so far.
So we've been designing competition uniforms as a team, and so we just ordered new competition uniforms for this season. And we also raised enough funds to send us to 5 competitions this competition season. Awesome. And we're also looking forward to maybe performing in Florida at a bowl. So.
Awesome. So a nice, not a bad time of year to take a trip to Florida, huh? I don't blame you. So you've got new uniforms, which is exciting. And what is the purpose behind, you said the design specifically, what is the purpose behind that design?
Well, when we were designing them, we wanted to make sure the whole team liked the design. So we all worked together to kind of come up with ideas. And in the end, we made like a collaboration of all of them. And something that was important to us was using our school colors, so we incorporated purple into it. And we also added some sparkle to give a visual effect when we're dancing. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have to be comfortable too, especially with movements like that. So I think it's really smart that you did the design yourself, because you know what's best for you and your team. So real quick before we go, do you have any just couple point goals for this year's competition?
Yeah, so as a team, we really want to make sure we're working our best at competitions, and every competition improving more than the last. And we really just want to do well and work to be better than we were last year, and to create a really good reputation for our team.
Absolutely. Well, Quasia, Lexi, and Lizzie, we wish you the best of luck on your upcoming season. That's your Purgolders Report, and please stay with us. The sports news will be right back. I'd like to thank the Evansville Blue Devils, the Waunakee Warriors, the Verona Wildcats, the Madison Memorial Spartans, and the Madison East Purgolders for your sports news reports. And a very special thank you to the Red Zone Sports Bar in downtown Madison for supporting local athletics. For sports, music, and the best pub grub in town, visit the Red Zone. That's all for the sports news. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. Please join us next time.